What's up guys, it's Spiderwolf back for another JJKPhantomparade video. So today we're going to be going over and show you some of the brand new SSR Blue Yaga coming out to the game. Or not, it's pretty much it. And a little bit of the roadmap that we just got. Before I get started though, I'd greatly appreciate it if you guys could drop me a like, comment, subscribe, would really help me out. Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the year, but that being said, let's get right into this. So, brand new Yaga, brand new event. If you want a quick and easy answer, probably best to just skip this guide because we should be getting the limited Utah next week, so be sure to save up your cubes for that. So if you want a quick and easy answer, yeah, probably just don't sell them here, it's not worth it. Of course, we're going to be getting a map event, which, hey, you'll get a free multi for Yaga, so you might get lucky, you might be able to get him or his recollection bit. And then, of course, as I did say earlier, here's the roadmap. I am blocking it a little bit, so I'm going to move my camera over here, so that way I'm not blocking the whole thing. But we're basically pretty much like what this week or like I guess later today or a couple hours. Also, Bad Seven's videos up might already be out, but we're getting Yaga, the event that comes with him, and then free 10 rolls for I guess a couple days or whatever. So that's pretty cool. And then next week we're gonna be getting a SSR guaranteed gacha, which is probably gonna be paid only. Same thing for the recollection bit, and then we should also be getting Utah as well, and a bunch of other gifts and login bonuses and more free summons, so that's pretty cool. And then the week after Utah, we should be getting this featured gacha, which if we go to the timeline, I think it's going to be, if you go to April, I think it's going to be this one. Yeah, it's going to be this yellow type banner here with yellow Yaga and Kaito, so we're going to be getting that after Utah, so in like 2 weeks from now pretty much. And then we should be getting a character Ejin, which I think is an OC character if I remember correctly. So yeah, this guy, yeah, Ejin, so he should be coming out in 2 weeks as well, I think, from what it looks like. So yeah, I think he's gonna be either in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, this Ejin guy, because yeah, we should be getting Utah next week, I'm pretty sure. If he's not next week, then in 2 weeks, but I'd assume Utah's coming out next week. At least I hope that's the case, but unless they do something weird where it's like we only get these 3 things here, the SSR gacha stuff, and then we get the Utah after, which I hope that's not the case. But yeah, regardless, Utah should be coming out in like a week or 2 weeks most probably. But yeah, Utah's coming out, and he is limited, so you want to summon for him, you want to keep for him, unless you don't care about Utah. But like if you're you're interested in a more updated version of Utah with his new hairstyle and all that, that's what this Utah is literally all about. Anyways, let's take a look at what Yaga does, this blue Yaga. So he's gonna have mixed here, so physical and Jujutsu. He's blue, of course. He's gonna be a support character, which I mean all Yagas are, to be honest. Let's see, so starting things off with my camera. Okay, let's see, skill 1, guidance. At level 1, you deal 97 melee physical damage to one enemy, and you recover your own cursed energy by 10, so it's not too bad. At level 10, you do 150% damage, so basically if you level it up, you get more damage out of it. Nothing too crazy, to be honest. Skill 2, battle preparation. At level 1, it's going to have 20 cursed energy for the cost, so you're going to summon the cursed corpse based off 5% of Yaga's own max HP. You grant yourself Cursed Corpse activated state. So, Cursed Corpse will take melee damage of any allies, including self, one time per turn. Cursed Corpse deactivated state will be effective for 3 turns. Once Cursed Corpse is defeated, you cannot summon a Cursed Corpse with Cursed Corpse activated or Cursed Corpse deactivated state. Increase all blue allies critical hit by 30% for 5 turns, cannot be stacked. If self is receiving increases of physical and jutsu stat battle declared, which is a different buff, to all blue allies, you extend the duration of physical and jutsu stat battle declared buff by 1 turn. At level 10, the summon is going to have more HP, based on it's now going to be 10% off of Yaga's HP, and then the crit rates for all allies is going to be 45%. So basically what I'm understanding here is the Cursed Corpse, which is a summon, is going to be based off of Yaga's max HP by 10% at level 10. Level 8 is going to be 9%, so still pretty good. And then basically when you activate it, it'll take, so if any melee damage happens to anybody, it'll tank it pretty much, so nobody will get hurt for that one time. And then when it is deactivated, for 3 turns. So basically, once it's killed, you can't summon it for 3 turns from what it looks like, because it says here this deactivated state will be effective for 3 turns once it's defeated. So once it's defeated, you basically can't summon another summon for 3 turns. So you basically have to wait 3 more turns to be able to summon it again. So on the 4th turn, after it's killed, then you can summon it again, pretty much. And then get your critical hit buff for all allies for 5 turns. And then you can extend a different buff for an additional turn if you do the skill while the Cursed Corpse is activated. Specifically if you have like a physical and, well, yeah, like this, like the Battle Declared buff, which is buffing physical and jutsu stat, specifically for blue allies. Skill 3 here, Battle Declared. It's going to cost you 20 curse energy. At level 1, you increase all blue allies physical and jutsu stat, which, you know, is the Battle Declared buff that was stated earlier. But basically all it's doing is buffing physical and jutsu by 40% for 3 turns on level 1. At level 10, it's going to be 65, and then at level 8, it's going to be 59. So pretty good buff, especially for 3 turns. So you can pretty much have this buff going. It's like the red SR Yaga. Because he buffs, you know, does physical and jutsu buff for 3 turns, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, you can basically stack this up 2 times, get over 120%. On the 3rd turn, you could even extend, you could get even more. You can get up to like 180. And then if you were to do skill 2 again, you could increase that duration to 4 turns, and you could maybe even get up to like 210. If you were to do like, was it like 2 turns of skill 3, do 1 of skill 2, and then go back to skill 3, and then maybe you might be able to squeeze in a 4th one. But yeah, pretty good buff for the most part, so that's pretty nice. Plus it being 20 curse energy is not that bad. And if you really need to, you can rely on skill 1 here to give yourself an extra 10 curse energy. So basically any turn after using your skill 1, you should be able to do skill 2 or skill 3, whichever one you want. But yeah, pretty good so far. Nothing like game breaking, but like overall I think it's pretty good as like a general thing. His ultimate here, Cursed Corpse Great Battle. At level 1, you deal 354% range jutsu, I can't speak apparently, a range jujutsu damage to 1 enemy for 4 hits. You decrease the selected enemy's critical hit resistance by 10% for 3 turns. You decrease the selected enemy's damage dealt by 15% for 3 turns. And then you inflict darkness to the selected enemy for 1 turn at a 30% chance. You also deal an additional 354% range jutsu damage to 1 enemy. You increase the selected enemy's blue type damage received by 15% for 2 turns. Then you deal an additional 241 melee physical damage to 1 enemy. You inflict confusion special to 1 enemy for 2 turns, 1 time, 25% chance. And then you also increase all blue allies physical and jutsu stat, giving them the Battle Declared buff again by 40% for 3 turns, excluding 6 hit, all attacks ignore darkness. So basically, this will ignore darkness, this will ignore darkness, this will ignore darkness, and then anything after, well, actually, well, let me see. 4 hits, and then I'm gonna guess, yeah, 4, 5, 6. So basically, this will ignore darkness, this will ignore darkness, this last one will not ignore darkness, but you have a chance of inflicting confusion to an enemy. At level 10, it's going to be 600 range jutsu damage, and then 600 range jutsu damage again, and then 400 melee physical damage, and then you're giving all allies 65% physical and jutsu stat buff for the Battle Declared, which is the same thing as level 10 for skill 3. So basically, damage with some debuffs, and then support here for all allies. We'll also be able to either apply confusion to the enemy, or a chance of applying darkness to the enemy, and then also increase the damage received by 50%. Pretty low, so it's kind of whatever, but overall, it's a decent ultimate. You get decent damage out of it. You do like minor debuffs to the enemy for an ultimate, so I think that kind of sucks, but at least you get the stat buff here for 3 turns, which I guess is kind of cool, but I'm also like, you know, you're already doing it here, skill 3, this could have been maybe a little bit more, but I mean, I guess at the same time you are doing like a lot out of this. It's just that the numbers are pretty low for what Yaga's doing here for so many different things here, like damage, debuffing, buffing. I don't think that's like still kind of high as the buffing part, but overall it's kind of okay. At level 7 though, it's going to be 56 for the stat buff, 500, 500, and 300 for damage, and then everything else is basically the same, so that's alright. For his combo ultimate here, he's going to deal mixed damage to one enemy that can ignore darkness, and then he also increases his and the allies' damage dealt by 30% for 3 turns. When you unlock the hidden potential stage 2, it's now going to be a 40% damage dealt for himself and the ally, and also a 30% critical hit rate increase for the ally and himself, both for 3 turns, so that's pretty good. His auto skills, he only has 1. Cursed Corpse activated, so if Cursed Corpse activated state is active, after all allies have performed their action, you deal 250% range due to damage to one enemy, random, and then you increase the enemy's blue type damage received by 50% for 2 turns that can ignore darkness and stun state. So that's pretty cool, at least. Yeah, I mean, you basically get an extra hit. So you technically do 5, what is it? You attack 5 times, so you know, each of your allies, and then the Cursed Corpse attacks, and then it also inflicts damage type received increase by blue allies, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, nothing about this Yaga super game breaking to me. Like, he's cool, he's not bad for sure. Like, you definitely run him in a blue team, he can be pretty nice, because he's like an actual, I mean, okay, well, I was gonna say he's like an actual blue buffer, but then I'm like, oh no, we have Momo, she's like pure buff for the blue team, but like her turn count is pretty low. But I mean he's pretty good. He's kind of like some like a mix of like Momo for the buffing, or I guess you can technically see his older SR version because kind of does the same thing with skill 3 here, and then also a little bit of like blue Ghetto with the debuffing kind of aspect of it. But yeah, overall he's not bad, but he's not broken. Definitely not worth your cubes, in my opinion. Definitely not worth it. I'd say he's definitely one of those characters that you just might as well rather wait till he gets added to the standard banner and then pull it from there, or from future banners once he eventually gets added to the standard banner pool. But yeah, overall, he's just alright. He's not bad, but just not worth something for. And as far as where I would put him on the tier list, I'd say probably maybe like double S tier. Maybe, I think triple S tier is maybe pushing it a little bit, so I'd probably say double S tier. Maybe on the higher end, but yeah, I'd say he's probably like double S tier for me, in my opinion. Let's go over his recollection bit. So, the Panda and Scared Pillar, it's going to be mixed. So whenever you do anything, skill or ultimate, you increase all allies' physical and jutsu damage received by 20% for 1 turn, and if the equipped character is a jutsu high official, like Gojo or Yaga, or Shoko, you recover your own cursed energy by 10, a 7-turn cooldown, with 1 dupe if any ally's HP is below 60% at the start of the turn. 3 times in battle, you recover all allies' HP by 10%. It's actually kind of good, low-key. And then if you have it at 3 dupes, you're going to reduce everybody's physical and jutsu damage received by 30%, and then that's pretty much it. But it is a 7-turn cooldown, which kind of sucks. I mean, it's not bad, I suppose, because of the whole you can recover your cursed energy by 10, but I'm assuming this is only when you activate the skill, or the recollection bit, I mean. So I don't know, it's like, it's not bad per se, but it's definitely not like super broken. Yeah, it's alright. But I think this is kind of cool though, this little thing here, if you have 1 dupe into it, where you're able to heal everybody by 10% when their HP falls below 60%. I think that's kind of cool. Of course, the downside is that it's only for 3 times in battle, but I think that's still kind of nice, right? But definitely not like something I would say you need to chase. And then here we have the free-to-play one from the event. So this one's mixed. If you do anything, you increase your own and the allies behind damage received by 15%. Wait, increase your own and the ally behind you damage received by... Okay, I feel like that's a bit odd. With 1 dupe at the start of the 6th turn, increase all enemies' critical hit resistance by 20% for 3 turns. So for 9th, it's also 9-turn cooldown. So basically, max dupe, you're making yourself and the person behind you take more damage for 2 turns, and then after 6 turns, you can reduce everybody's critical hit resistance by 20% for 3 turns. Okay, I guess. I mean, I guess in some situations it could be good if you really need your ally to take more damage, but I don't know. Doesn't really seem that good unless it's like a mistranslation. It's supposed to be you're increasing yourself and the ally behind you, you're increasing their damage that they're dealing by 50%, but I don't know if that's the case. But if it is literally what it says here, by you're increasing your own damage received and the allies, it just seems a bit odd to me. But yeah, I'd say this, just don't bother with that one. For the gacha one, Like I said, it's alright. I'd say for sure it's a support one. Definitely more in the defensive side of things. I'd say I give it an A. I think A's fair, just because the healing. I really like the healing aspect of this. The defensive aspect's kind of whatever, but the cursed energy is kind of cool. It is a little bit limited though, because it is only for Jutsu High officials. But at the same time, you have Shoko, you have Yaga, both really good support characters. Usually only support characters. This is going to pair very well with that. Though the big downside is that it's centered cooldown, so you won't be seeing this that often. So it is an option, but the healing is kind of cool if you just need it. Just like decent healing for the whole team. So I'd say that one's probably also A tier. Yeah, I'd say A tier. I'd say this one's also A tier. But if I'm giving this A tier, then I'd probably move this down to B tier, maybe even C tier. It's kind of not that great. But yeah. With that being said, should you summon for Yaga? Yeah, probably not. I don't think it's really worth it. I mean, we're literally getting a limited Yuta, as we can see in the timeline here. If we go down, Yuta is limited, and we're going to be getting him probably next week, because on JP it was literally the week after. So I'm imagining, yeah, because like, what is it? Here's the guaranteed gacha. Literally go to the timeline here for global, guaranteed gacha. So Yuta should be coming out next week with all this good stuff. So hey, you know, if you do use the paid gacha, which I might do, you might be able to get Choso or any other pretty cool characters like that. So that's nice. But at the same time, you know, Yuta is limited, so I'd say just wait for him. He's pretty good, from what I've heard. But I'll make a video, of course, to let you guys know how good Yuta really is, if he really is that great. But he's limited, so that's usually, you know, you always go for the limited characters, right? But yeah, after Yuta, we should be getting what? This random yellow banner, which it's okay. It's not too bad. Yellow Yaga's kind of cool. And then we're going to be getting this OC character. And then that kind of wraps it up for June, I think. Yeah, that will wrap it up for June. And then July, we'll probably get this Ghetto, this other banner here. And then, maybe this triple banner here again. And then probably someone between August to July, we'll probably see the JP 2.5 anniversary, which will be Global's second anniversary, I think, something like that. Or I don't know, I'm kind of lost on where we are for the anniversary of Global, but basically by the next time we get to like the anniversary or 0.5 anniversary, this will be, actually no, it's not true. Yeah, no, we'll get this before that. Well, yeah, we'll get this before then. So this is gonna be like a July August release. Is probably when we'll see like the, you know, the 4 limited characters in the was it Yuji, Gojo, and then it's gonna be Nobara and Megami. We'll see them like, it'll probably either late July or somewhere in August is my guess, unless they decide to like just give us no content for a couple of weeks and then just push it further back. But I'm assuming probably like late August to early August, or no, late July to early August, and we'll probably see these guys drop is my guess. But yeah, with that being said though, guys, hope this video helps you guys out, and with that being said, I'll catch you all later. Peace and take care, everybody.